I believe there's always been a natural sense of jealousy and dislike directed toward Robyn. Hello everyone, I'm Emma. Welcome back to the show on TLC Next Chapter. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs up. Sister Wives personality Paedon Brown never keeps his thoughts to himself. Again and again throughout the show, he's been vocal, usually criticizing his dad, Cody Brown. He's even publicly called Robyn out for what she did. But that wasn't the end of it. Paedon also had serious conflicts with Meri, once calling her a nightmare. After a few years of being a part of the family's public spectacle, he finally opted out of it all. He moved out and distanced himself from the limelight, no longer appearing on the program. Recently, he uploaded a Mother's Day TikTok, and his message soon went viral, but not necessarily in the way he might have wanted. Paedon wished all his mothers a very happy Mother's Day, with one exception. He openly admitted wishing to exclude one mother from his sentiments. This, of course, made fans wonder, was he making a dig at Robyn? Or was it an exclusion for his not-so-favorite mom, Meri? Sister Wives fans have heard Paedon talk about Meri's dark side before. He's always come off as confident and assertive, never shying away from calling things as he sees them. Over time, Paedon has criticized both his dad, Cody, and Meri, claiming that she had an abusive and violent side. According to him, many family members felt uneasy around her. He even claimed she harassed the children as they were developing. Because Meri has never quite stood up for herself publicly, many fans have begun to think Paedon is being honest. Paedon now no longer has any contact with Cody, Robyn, or Meri. But was his hit Mother's Day TikTok intended for Meri or Robyn? Paedon, Christine, and Cody's son, went on social media on Mother's Day with a post that caused tongues to wag. He declared he wanted to give love to all the moms, except one. Fans instantly assumed it was aimed at his stepmom, Meri Brown, whereas some thought he was throwing shade at his fourth mom, Robyn. Several of the Brown children have complained about Robyn over the years, so the theory wasn't unfathomable. But Paedon has also not hesitated to refer to Meri as an abuser. He even claimed she gave him bodily nightmares. Last week, Paedon made the choice to set the record straight and finally spoke out about the now viral TikTok, explaining who the message was and wasn't directed towards. Paedon made it clear that his now viral Mother's Day message wasn't directed at either Robyn or Meri. He insisted that it was a joke. In a TikTok he made on Monday, he clarified that he has closed that chapter in his life and forgiven everyone involved in his history. He maintained he has no grudge, does not spend time thinking about those moments anymore, and that such individuals don't even enter his mind anymore. So, therefore, the post wasn't meant to be a jab at someone in specific. He continued that he didn't mean to exclude anyone. He just found the video amusing and decided to post it. Paedon admitted that humans would inevitably make their own assumptions and guesswork about whom the video was targeting. Nevertheless, he said he wasn't bothered. Humans can think what they want. Even though there were tensions between him and both Robyn and Meri in the past, fans are most sure that the TikTok was targeted at Robyn. His past with Meri has certainly been bumpy, but in recent years, they seem to have come to a steadier understanding. Sister Wives fans slam Cody and Robyn for disrespecting Garrison's memorial. Sister Wives fans were devastated on a recent special episode that centered around Garrison Brown. The young man suicided more than a year ago, and feelings were raw as his mom, Janelle, broke down discussing her son. The Brown family chose to honor Garrison by going on a trip to Wyoming where they interred his ashes. It was a special and sentimental trip for everyone except for Cody and Robyn's actions, which enraged fans. Fans were appalled by how Cody and Robyn made the somber ceremony feel like a quick drive-by. And unfortunately, that was not the most disturbing aspect. Audiences were outraged over Cody's seeming insensitivity in dealing with such a sad situation. The show caught a dramatic flash of feeling as the whole family grieved Garrison. The Browns have moved around over the years, having initially resided in Cody, Wyoming, so they made the loving decision to bury Garrison next to his grandmother in the same state. Sister Wives Cody admits regret over his relationship with Garrison. Paedon Brown has had difficulty for quite some time, having healthy relationships with his children. Prior to Garrison's death, the father-son relationship was severely broken. Garrison and his brother Gabriel both tried to repair things with their dad, but the efforts did not pay off. In the most recent episode, Cody spoke at length and acknowledged that he regretted not having more time to reconcile with Garrison. He even wept uncontrollably, remembering the crushing sorrow that came after his son's passing. He admitted he should have. Cody admitted that he could have done more with his son. But Sister Wives fans were not quick to forgive him for what they saw as mocking the funeral of Garrison. It's now been over a year since Garrison's passing, and TLC finally addressed the sensitive topic on camera. Cody did shed some tears and indicated he wanted to honor Garrison, but his behavior during the trip to Wyoming wasn't that of a grieving father. While Janelle and other members of the family were openly distraught on the trip, Cody and Robyn seemed to turn it into more of a family excursion. They turned what was meant to be a somber and solemn trip into what fans referred to as a vacation. Onlookers were horrified at how lightly they treated the situation. Cody even gave his kids a tour and got ice cream along the way. This was very unsettling for people to witness, especially considering Garrison was his own son. One commented in disgust, "His son's ashes in the trunk while they go about their ice cream and good Wild West time." Another added, "Does anyone else find this a little disrespectful?" Fans believe that TLC is still trying to spin a redemption story for Robyn when the show itself reveals her and Cody behaving with no heart or empathy. Here, fans assert no redemption is achievable after viewers saw such coldness. There was sympathy for Janelle, who had to endure such a hurtful ordeal with so little empathy from Cody. He was seen laughing and enjoying himself, with no visible grief, while Janelle and others mourned. Even Meri was crying, admitting that it took Garrison's death to bring the fractured family together under one roof. Sadly, the family continues to fracture, and under the worst circumstances possible. Cody and Robyn, however, seemed oblivious, prioritizing their own comfort and entertainment over showing sadness or respect. Now, fans are calling for karma to intervene. They believe both Cody and Robyn need to face consequences for their sensitivity. From the beginning, Garrison was a standout to viewers because of his unfiltered honesty and openness. In a family notorious for complicated and often strained relationships, he never shied away from telling precisely how he felt, even to those nearest to his heart. His existence has forever been a story of conflict, growth, and an intense desire to escape the chaos and lead a life of independence and recovery. After years of living in the shadow of a high-profile, dysfunctional family life, Garrison became his own man as a young adult who chose to make music outside of the reality television spotlight, a choice that many fans admired and respected enormously. A family bond built on complicated relationships, this young man went out of his way to build his own way, far removed from the drama he once knew. As a vocal critic in an extremely complex family, he was frequently a loud, obstinate voice in disagreement with the family patriarch. He did not hesitate to speak his mind, challenging his father directly about behaviors and choices that left him feeling disregarded and confused. Yet, his candor was not limited to his father. He singled out one of the women in the family, someone he had particularly found it difficult to be around. His accusations were more than the usual family disagreements. He portrayed her as someone who inflicted genuine psychological harm. In flashes of unbridled honesty, he spoke of her as a source of long-term trauma, recounting a toxic relationship rarely witnessed on television. His words didn't just reveal conflict, they revealed deeper emotional scars inflicted by years of painful interactions. And he didn't hold back. He also spoke of intense frustration and disappointment with another woman in the family whose behavior he believed was extremely hurtful. His use of emotive, powerful language surprised many. It reflected just how much he had been carrying the emotional load. It wasn't just criticism, it was a reflection of pain and unreleased sorrow. As time went on, and with maturity setting in, his attitude began to change. Where he had once had a combative urge to fight and clash, he later had the urge to escape the constant circus that had come to define his home life. The constant cameras, The manufactured drama and the emotional conflict all exacted their costs, and he opted out. He stepped away from the spotlight, removing himself not just from the reality television show, but from the script that others had written for him. He chose peace, a less chaotic, more stable life beyond the madness. His departure wasn't merely physical, it was a forceful declaration of independence, a chance to heal and rebuild his identity, separate from the persona created by reality TV. Even after he'd gone, a mere social media posting set tongues wagging. Although he's tried to transition out of that world, the specter of his family's public melodrama continues to haunt him. In low-key manners, the young man recently made headlines once again. This time on a Mother's Day, he released a social media post that unexpectedly stirred mass curiosity and gossip among people who follow him. In his post, he offered greetings to all the mothers who had helped bring him into the world, with appreciation and gratitude for the women who influenced him. But one sharp-tongued remark caught people's attention. He said that he would be excluding a specific mother from his well wishes. This enigmatic remark soon created intrigue, and followers were left wondering to whom he was referring. Most imagined that he was referring to the mother that he had once accused of treating the children badly. Others believed the message could be targeted at the long-criticized stepmother whose presence has always been controversial in the family. Since he did not mention a particular person, the comment was left in limbo, generating speculations and heated discussion all over the internet forums. Confronted with a turbulent past, abuse, and emotional trauma, the youth's history with certain family members includes gravely serious accusations that form a picture of disturbing nature about his childhood. At some point, he openly accused a maternal figure of abuse, speaking of her not as one of warmth, but as a terror figure. He claimed that he and his siblings, in the course of growing up, had endured extensive emotional trauma, claiming that her conduct left permanent psychological wounds. Since the party accused never denied publicly nor defended herself, some listeners began to take him more seriously. Others saw his revelations as a painful and unsettling glimpse into the hidden dysfunction behind the family's on-camera facade. The revelations have clearly been expensive, emotionally and relationally. The young man has drawn further away not only from the woman he publicly shamed, but also from his father and another female resident of the home. These broken ties mirror the chaos he lived as a child. Chaos now that continues to characterize his path forward. Clearing the air. Setting the record straight on viral rumor. In reaction to the viral anger over his Mother's Day message, the young man later came forward to set the record straight. He explained that his message had been intended as a joke. He assured his followers that He explained that no one was left out or targeted intentionally with ill will. Instead, he talked of a desire to leave behind past hurts and revealed that he has forgiven people who may have hurt him, without resentment. He added that he no longer dwells on painful pages of his past, and that those painful memories rarely come to mind anymore. Being aware of the fact that people would always make their own meanings, he accepted public speculations about his words. Nonetheless, he was not perturbed by the speculations, insisting that his post was simply done in a joking manner and never intended to create altercation. A complex tangle of family relationships. Through the years, his interpersonal relationships with family members have had their share of highs and lows. Instances of estrangement alternated with transient reconciliation. His relationships with the woman whom he previously accused of abuse have been most stormy, alternate moments of hostility interspersed with a tenuous strive to comprehend. In the same vein, his relationship with the second mother figure, a constant wellspring of drama, has seen its own share of conflict, but also brief moments of tense equilibrium. These changing dynamics reveal the messy reality of a family bound together by blood, but stretched taut by personality clashes, differing values, and old wounds. His story is a poignant reminder of how coming of age in non-traditional family life can make it difficult to discover authentic voice, declare identity, and enjoy peace amidst chaos. The journey from critic to questing for forgiveness. His own journey, from critic to man searching for forgiveness and closure, offers a revealing look beneath the gilt surface of reality television spectacle. Looking ahead, embracing liberty. Outside the lens, having walked away from the spotlight of cameras and public eyes, he now focuses on creating a life of his own. Removed from complex family relationships and round-the-clock surveillance, he pursues self-improvement, healing, and a future governed by his own decisions. His story deeply resonates with many who have experienced broken family relationships and struggled to escape negative patterns. It captures the delicate balance of love, commitment, and pain in tangled family relationships, and the strength it takes to pursue a fresh start. As he presses on in his journey, he is still a character who, for all the previous conflict, is resilient, honest, and seeking peace. His candor in speaking about hard realities reveals the frequently invisible struggles of living in the harsh glare of reality TV, reminding viewers that beneath the spectacle, there are actual human lives. A very emotional installment recently aired that depicted a family dealing with the heartbreaking loss of a young man whose life came to a sad, premature end. The family assembled to pay homage to him by ferrying his ashes to a place significant to their heritage, a mountain tract in the American West. This pilgrimage was intended to be somber, reflective, and healing, as they prepared to bury him alongside a beloved family member, creating a peaceful space for their mutual grieving. While some members of the family openly grieved, sharing the deep pain that is achieved through losing a son to suicide. One part of the pilgrimage created tremendous outrage amongst viewers. Two adults within the group whose actions stood in stark contrast to the somber atmosphere established by others were severely denounced for what many perceived as disrespectful and tone-deaf behavior at the memorial. What was billed as an odyssey of remembrance had moments of discomforting levity that left the fans disturbed. The family origins trace back to a town surrounded by the harsh landscape of Wyoming, where the missing young man had formative years and where his grandmother was buried. Burying his ashes there was more than significant, a means to bond with their history and give him a place to rest close to the land they loved. As the family journeyed to this holy place, the mood was heavy with grief. One mother, obviously distraught with grief, wept as she told anecdotes about her son's life and the huge chasm his absence left. Her devastation could be felt and touched the hearts of many spectators, evoking the sense of pain that comes with losing a child. This mournful tone was not one that was shared by everyone, though. Two of the adults in the group, even on the somber occasion, appeared to have played the outing more as a carefree road trip. Closely observing, viewers caught, on the trip, episodes of laughter, casual excursions, and even side trips to sugary treats broke up the otherwise funeral-like mood of the journey. These decisions struck most viewers as jarringly out of place, considering the seriousness of the occasion, and generated widespread disappointment and outrage online. The father-son break, regrets. Unexpressed, too late behind the scenes. The dynamics of the family have always been complicated. The father in this case struggled to have a close relationship with his sons, particularly the one whose life was cruelly lost. Initiatives from the young man and his brother to mend broken relationships were met with resistance or a lack of interest, allowing deep emotional scars to rot. During the episode, the patriarch candidly spoke of deep regret for failing to do enough to repair their relationship prior to the tragedy. Filmed at the time, he looked truly remorseful, tearfully facing up to the grief and irreversibility of lost chances. His openness resonated deeply with many viewers, who regarded a man racked by guilt and despair. But this unadorned show of remorse seemed to be at odds with his actions throughout the memorial visit. While his dialogue expressed regret, his actions were disconnected from the shared anguish felt by the rest of the family, a disconnect that took the audience by surprise and left them uneasy. Social media backlash. When the episode screened, fans immediately reacted on social media, expressing their outrage. Many were severely critical of the father and one of his wives for a perceived lack of respect during the pilgrimage. Their seemingly casual attitude, including taking leisurely tours around the region, having treats with kids, and participating in light activities, did not appeal to viewers. One of the especially harsh critiques read, "Driving around with a son's ashes in the trunk and having ice cream and doing sightseeing, how is that not rude?" That attitude was repeated on many platforms, with many finding their actions insensitive and cruel under the conditions. Others accused the network of trying to create a redemption arc for both of them, claiming their behavior obviously disqualified them from any real narrative of mourning or reconciliation. The stark contrast between the apparent sadness of other relatives and the perceived carefree nature of this pair only made the backlash worse. The differing reaction from these two individuals fueled charges of insensitivity, particularly against the backdrop of the overwhelming sympathy that people felt for the bereaved mother and others concerned. During the ordeal, numerous fans showed immense empathy for the mother who publicly wept following her son's death. Her raw emotion and pain touched onlookers, unveiling the stark human tragedy at the center of this tragic tale. Another family member, who was remembered for being so emotionally expressive, was caught crying during the memorial. She talked openly about how the tragedy had somehow brought the family closer together, in spite of other areas that seemed to be breaking down. Her tears and moving words emphasized the vulnerability and intricacy of their family ties. Contrastingly, the jovial disposition of the condemned couple seemed to many like a betrayal of the mournful process. The public lamented what they perceived as a lost opportunity to demonstrate unity, respect, and true compassion at such a deep loss. The fallout. Demands for accountability, followers and fans of the family's narrative have been loud in insisting on accountability for what they see as ingratitude. Most expressed optimism that there would be consequences for those whose behavior seemed callous or uncaring. This scandal also raised issues about how public figures perform grief in the public eye, pointing to the tension between real feeling and performativity of reality television. Audiences asked if the couple's behavior was authentic or just a facade to preserve their public image at a time of loss. Others went further to say this episode exposed deeper cracks in the family, citing long-standing problems with empathy, loyalty, and emotional availability. The intense public glare has only served to build further pressure on the family's already frayed relationships, laying bare uncomfortable realities behind closed doors. Ruminations on mourning in the public eye. This scenario begs ruminations on the difficulties of mourning when each moment is open to public scrutiny. The decision by the family to record their pilgrimage understandably elicited a spectrum of reactions, ranging from sympathetic to vitriolic. Mourning is intimate and manifests differently for everyone. For some, flashes of humor in the face of loss are mechanisms that help them deal with their pain, while for others, such an attitude can be perceived as a betrayal of the grieving process. The reaction of the audience points to the conflict between individual grief and communal expectation, particularly for those families under relentless media scrutiny. In the end, this is a tale of the intersection of loss, complicated family, and the challenge of finding a way to express sadness in a genuine way when everyone is looking. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for fresh content coming soon.